Patrick, I love your question. What is your advice for folks starting out in regards to level of nichiness? I've never seen the word nichiness before. I love it. On a scale of 0 to 100, with 0 being I'll take anything and everything, and 100 being as specific as possible, where would you start?
All right. I start closer to 0. And the reason why is pretty easy. Like, if you're just starting out and you don't know what kind of people you like taking yet, then how would you narrow that down to, I only want to ever talk to this kind of candidate? Now, I get it. Sometimes people choose their niche based off of some industry that they think is going to be full of growth. Sometimes they choose it based off of, this is what I did for 20 years and this is what I know really well. But I don't think that's as important. In fact, I would actually generally advise people not to work in an industry they know terribly well. I don't want you to be competitive or talkative with a client or candidate over how you would be doing it or what you think is better or how it was done in your day. None of that's productive. I would rather you be a little bit foreign and saying, hey, I don't know my industry as well as you do, so why don't you tell me a little bit about what it takes to be a good,
transponder engineer.
And let them teach me and train me, and while they're talking about it, they're actually building rapport with me because they like to teach what they do to somebody who's interested. And then I can slowly build up. And if I decide, wow, I really love transponder engineers, no one has ever said that before.
I don't think so.
But somebody says that, you feel that way. Like, these guys are really a lot of fun to talk to. This is what my niche is. That's fine. But in our case, like, we primarily place recruiters and salespeople right now. But if somebody comes to me with a job that I think sounds great, I'll do it. If they come to me with a job that says, nobody can fill this, like, I'll charge you a lot, but I'll find you someone.
Now, Patrick is saying he's starting out, meaning in regards to starting his own firm. So, Patrick, tell me in chat what kind of people you typically recruit. Like in the 5 years before you're starting your own firm, engineers. So, if I was to say on that 0 to 100 scale, I place engineers. What number would you associate to just engineers? Is that a 50 on a 0 to 100 scale? Because then I would say, just engineers would be a 50. So now, if you want to get up into the 70s or 80s on your hypothetical niche, scale, maybe what you do is you only place civil engineers, or you only place industrial engineers, or you only place electrical engineers or software engineers. Like, you could pick one of those and that would get you a little nichier. I personally don't like to narrow by geography. Now, this is just me, but I have spent my entire career on my own, 22 years on my own, and I have worked nationally the whole time. Then you never run out of prospective clients, and you never run out of prospective candidates. But there's a lot of people, like, I don't know that that's a popular opinion. It's just the way I've done it, right? So I don't narrow by geography. But I know a lot of people, like the old MRI model, I think it was MRI, that was DIG, discipline, industry, geography. So what's your discipline? What is the title of the person you recruit? What is the industry that they work in? And what is the geography? So I think a good rule of thumb is get very specific in one of those three. Either in the discipline, in the industry, or in the geography. But I don't think you should get really specific in all three of them. I think you'd have too narrow of a market to say, I only place
technology CEOs in Tulsa.
Technology CEOs in Tulsa. Like, you're screwed.
I make a placement occasionally.
Right. Can a niche be too large for a new person? It can be too large. Like, I could say what I do is I place senior executives in every industry in America. That's too large, right? and what Lee is saying is I do snack food manufacturing, plant managers, and above. I think that's great. I don't think that's too big of a niche. I think it's terrific. In fact, I would say, wow, do I want snack food manufacturing only? Like, I don't know how many, I guess, in America, there's probably a whole bunch of snack food manufacturers, right?
Everything is a snack if you believe in yourself. So, yeah, you know what? I think that is certainly narrow enough. I don't think it's too large. Snack food manufacturing, plant manager and above, I think that's a good level.
So, I guess the short answer, Patrick, is get a little specific. Pick one of the 3 areas. Like I place engineers in manufacturing in the Midwest. That's great, right? So you don't have to get too nichey, right?
So I love this one. Before I answer the next question, I'm going to read an accolade because it makes me feel good about myself.
Thank you, Mike.
All right. Some of the best advice you ever gave me was to work in a place you like personally. It happened to me by accident, but my morning research is reading about things I enjoy personally, and the people I talk to all day long are fun because we have a bunch of stuff in common, except the recreational drug use. He says, just kidding, but we know it's you and not your client or candidate. Like, we know.
That's terrible. But I mean, think about that. Like, a hot industry right now is cannabis. Cannabis is a huge industry, and it's a very immature industry.
I think the hot cannabis is at the point where it starts to smoke. So that's a little dangerous little analogy there.